Rico.
Live from the land of ice and snow, it's time for sex, toys, and stories from the road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. Make sure you follow her on Twitter at VDJ Sexy Hippie. If you have any questions you would like answered on the air, make sure you send them to vdjsexyhippie@gmail.com. And now,
come on, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make me. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
it is time to talk about sex. We do it every Tuesday night. Sex, toys, and stories from the road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. Send topics and questions. VDJSexyHippie@gmail.com. She is also on Twitter at VDJ Sexy Hippie. Scoot434 has joined us in the chat room on stonerjesus.net. Welcome to everyone listening live and on podcast. You're hearing any moment from VDJ Sexy Hippie. There's a page for a segment as well on stonerjesus.net. Of course, aptly named Sex, Toys, and Stories from the Road with VDJ Sexy Hippie. I say you can send her topics and whatever. If you're a sex toy maker, she's up for reviews as well. Send those products, bitches. Let's get some reviews going. VDJ Sexy Hippie, welcome to the show.
Hello, Stoner Jesus. How you doing this fine day?
I'm doing pretty good. How are things in Canada?
Canada's doing pretty good. We got a warm one again today, but windy. I went for a nice long walk and found some bear poop.
Well, that's always fun.
Yes, you could tell it's bear poop because it had like the seeds berries. Like they don't spit out the seeds, so they just like, and it's all in the poop.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
Yes, it does. But it shits on the path that the humans walk in the middle of the woods. So I've been doing a little bit of reading, and I wasn't really too sure what to talk about. So I decided, you know what, I was gonna fuck around on Wikipedia there, and I typed in sex and a whole bunch of other random things, and I found out that they have this huge section on sexology on Wikipedia. And then I was going around with urban legends, and I found Donkey Punch. And after our boys, you know how our boys are in the room, they've talked about it before, joked around about it before, so I figured, you know what, hey, let's talk about Donkey Punches today.
Fucking
I
hey.
have a couple other things to talk about too, but this is I just found it was interesting because I honestly, the only thing I knew about Donkey Punch was from like Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
I had actually really no concept of what a donkey punch was, other than it just sounds really, really funny, and yeah. So it's actually a slang term for a sexual practice of inflicting blunt force trauma to the back of the head or the lower back of the receiving partners during anal or vaginal sex in an attempt by the penetration partner to induce an involuntary tightening of the internal and external anus sphincter muscles and vaginal passages of the receiving partner. So I guess by concept here, you hit someone in the back of the head and everything's supposed to tighten right up. So
I would guess so.
Yeah, that's according to the theory of all this. So anyways, according to Dr. Jeffrey Barr of the Medical College of Wisconsin, there is no reflex in humans that would cause such tension of the response to a blow in the back of the head. So pretty much what he's saying, that's not possible.
Yeah. Seems like it would be just easier just to ask a chick, you know, like, can you like tighten your pussy up a little bit, squeeze a little bit, instead of just hauling off and punching them in the back of the head.
Well, yeah, and considering women, we have control over our muscles down there. We really do. So during sex, and I've done this several times where I've tightened up the muscles and guys notice it. I remember one guy, we were parking one time in the middle of winter, and we needed a place to fool around, so we decided to go parking. And I did that, and I remember going, oh my God. He's like, really, you do that? He's like, not many girls do that. And it's like, well, it kind of makes things more interesting.
They should.
Yeah. So according to the urban legend, it's saying that sex columnist Dan Savage has discussed the alleged practice on several occasions. In 2004, he referred to the donkey punch as a sex act that exists only in imaginations of adolescent boys, adding that no one has attempted the pirate, just as no one has ever performed the hot Carl delivering a donkey punch or inserting an icy mic. They're all fiction. So it's something to laugh about, and it's actually kind of funny, but it's a fiction thing. It doesn't happen. So please, people, if you want her or him to tighten the muscles down there, don't give them a donkey punch. Seriously, it won't work.
I bet it's happened at least once. I bet some guy was just like, I'm just going to do this and see what happens.
That's exactly it. So responding to Inquisitor from the Wikipedia editors, because I'm actually reading this on Wikipedia, like I said. He again discussed the donkey punch legend in his Savage Law column in 2006, and he wrote, attempting a donkey punch can lead to unpleasant outcomes, including injury, death, and incarceration. He also pointed out that it does not work. So, do not give people a donkey punch. You can get charged.
Well, I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah, so thought that was kind of interesting. And actually, reading along, Jeopardy mentioned the term itself. So at the bottom here it says the term received an intensive coverage online after it was mistakenly given as an answer on January 16th, 2012 broadcast of the game show Jeopardy. Okay? So the prompt was, a blow to the back of the neck is a punch named for this animal. And the correct answer was rabbit punch. So,
and somebody said donkey.
But a young male contestant named Mike Hatch was the first to answer with, "What is a donkey?" So that's actually kind of hilarious.
He knows what's up.
Yeah. So. And then actually they mentioned the next one that I'm talking about, because I was talking about donkey punches, but I also found gerbling as well. And whenever I think of gerbling, I think of the episode of South Park with Tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
And just, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So gerbling is also known as gerbil stuffing or gerbil shooting, is a sexual practice of inserting a small live animal, usually gerbils, but also could be mice, hamsters, rats, any type of rodent, into the human rectum to obtain stimulation. Some various reports suggest that a rodent may be covered in a psychoactive substance such as cocaine prior to being inserted.
Jesus.
Yes. Actor Richard Gere was reported to have been hospitalized making an attempt at the practice.
Wow.
Yes. So things that people do and the privacy of their own home could be quite interesting.
How could that possibly end in anything other than massive bleeding?
That's what I would think, because they would scratch the shit out of it.
Yeah. I guess they have to be declawed or something.
Yes, definitely declawed or defanged too, because if you were an animal trapped in something, wouldn't you bite as well?
Yeah.
I know if I was trapped in something and I wanted to get the fuck out, especially something that's smelling like, asshole, because it is an asshole.
Yeah.
I would bite and fucking claw my fucking way out of there as quickly as possible. It would just be a matter of survival.
Wow.
But according to folklorist Jan Harold Nervan, accounts of gerbling were first recorded in 1984. And initially were said to have involved a mouse and an unidentified man. In subsequent variation of the story, the animal was also a gerbil, and the story applied to several men celebrities. Rumors surrounding various male celebrities engaging in gerbling have become persistent or
You're cutting out, VDJ.
according to Scoops.com. Can you hear me now?
Not really.
One sec here.
Alrighty.
What the hell's going on? How about now?
It's a little better.
Okay, I don't know what's going on there.
That's
Let's
better.
see here. Okay. So,
You were talking about gerbils.
yes, I'm talking about gerbils, and my phone decides to act like an ass. Oh, well. So, like I said, rumors surrounding various male celebrities engaging in gerbling have become persistent urban legends. According to Scoops.com writers, gerbling is simply an unverified and persistent urban legend in the pure fiction. Dan Savage, a well-known sex advice columnist, which we mentioned him before, discusses unusual sexual practices and has stated he has never received a first-hand or even a second-hand account of the practice. So it sounds like it's pretty much an urban legend. Mike Walter, the National Enquirer gossip columnist, spent months attempting to verify the gerbling rumors about a celebrity. I have never worked so hard on a story in my life, he told the Palm Beach Post in 1995. After much investigation, I was unable to find any evidence that a gerbling incident has happened. I'm convinced that that's nothing more than an urban legend. So, which to me makes sense. As of the mid-1980s, there were no reports of peer-reviewed medical lecture describing gerbling. Nevertheless, the practice of gerbling remains in popular culture. In February 2015, an episode of Family Feud featured a woman immediately answering a gerbil when host Steve Harvey asked, "Name something a doctor will pull out of a person." The response, of course, produced prolonged laughter from the audience and stunned silence from Harvey. Even the other contestants in the podium burst out laughing over her response. The clip of the scene, of course, went viral. So it's interesting. The urban legends that people come up with and the things we get stuck in our minds sometimes. And honestly, that could be something I could see myself doing. Like the South Park episode again with Randy and the French on Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, wanted to talk about those two things. Also, too, I wanted to discuss in Canada here we have just been called to election once again. Our Prime Minister called an early election. I kind of knew we were going back to the polls in October, but this article I found here was Federal Election 2015. Harper says a majority of Canadians oppose legalizing marijuana. Now, I can tell you right off the bat that's a load of fucking crap, and our current Prime Minister doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. The majority of Canadians do favor legalization of marijuana, not just for recreational, but also mainly for medical. The majority of Canadians that I know do smoke marijuana. We would like to be able to see it more free reign. Myself, I would like to see more of a decriminalization than a legalization. Because it's a plant, and I believe with plants that no government body should tell you what to do with it. We should be able to grow it freely. We should be able to do whatever we want with it. Government can't say otherwise. But in this article here, our Prime Minister, current Prime Minister who's running for election, is trying to say that most Canadians don't favor it. So this is Mark from Ontario. Stephen Harper says that the majority of Canadians agree with his opposition to legalize marijuana, proving he is not behind the times on the way forward on pot. Okay, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Most people want it legalized. Most people want it, we're crying for it. I know people from various classes, upper class, middle class, lower class, that use it. I've gone myself into, and a good example is gone myself into a doctor's appointment and talked to the intake nurse and mentioning, I smoke pot. I don't have a medical license for it, but I do smoke it. And her look at me and go, I do have a medical license and I smoke it too. And look where I work.
Wow.
So, you know what? Majority of people and in the healthcare agree with it. So, A government opinion poll released 1 year ago found that more than 2/3 of Canadians wanted the federal government to ease the law